YouTubers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having the best day ever. I really appreciate you clicking on this video and spending a little portion of your day with me. It means a lot to me, and I really want to show you my Nightmare Before Christmas shirt. I just got it today and I'm super pumped about it. Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies of all time. I want to know what your favorite festive movie is. That can go for any holiday throughout the year. I want to know what it is. Mine is Elf and Nightmare Before Christmas, 100%. But let me know what yours is. Okay, so yesterday or the day before, I have no concept of time. We've been through this. Clearly. Clearly. Like 4 Red Bull cans, clearly. I made a video and I talked about the fact that Trisha and Moses had an article written about them by what people are telling me is like the New York Times, the New York Post, like the really big news publication in Israel. And they wrote this profile on Trisha and Moses. They interviewed them over Zoom, and it was something that Trisha talked about on YouTube, I think 3 or 4 times before it actually came out. And the reason for that was because I believe that Trisha and Moses were under the the imagination idea, you know, really creative minds, to say the least. I mean, that's one way of putting them. That this article was going to be in their favor, or even beyond that, just something that was written about them in a positive light, or written about them in a non-bias against them point of view. Now, I was getting a lot of comments by people asking why Trisha did this article or why Trisha agreed to do this interview, because Trisha has a track history of not enjoying the interview process with people, and especially when the articles come out, it normally turns sour because Trisha will not like that they brought something up, or that they painted her in a certain light, or that they brought up Gabby Hanna, or it always turns into a big drama. So people were like, Adam, why do you think that Trisha and Moses, well, probably just Trisha, I was like, Moses, get the fuck here and we're gonna sit down and do this. Why do we think that they did that? I personally believe that this one was different because it's a newspaper publication in Israel. Trisha literally fetishizes Israel and is trying so desperately to be loved in Israel, because I think the ultimate aim is for her and Moses to be in Israel. Now, I don't think that they'll ever go through with that, because I think Trisha is the embodiment of LA influencer, so I don't think she'll ever leave LA. And she's been open about that in the past. But the reason that I believe that they did this, regardless of the good or bad press, was because it was a really big, if not the biggest, news publication in Israel writing about them. And you know, no publication in Israel is really writing about YouTubers, point blank period, nor Trisha Paytas. And a lot of people also were commenting, being like, Adam, what do you think Moses' parents are thinking about this? Because they opened up about the fact that they were, you know, embarrassed by Trisha in the past. I don't even mean that in a harsh way, they just opened up about that. And do we think that they're, you know, even more embarrassed now because, you know, Ela has had conversations on the H3 podcast that, you know, they're embarrassed by the drama and they're embarrassed by certain things being brought up. And I do think that this is like salt on an open wound, especially with Moses going through with the wedding. I mean, it's happening in a few days, and it's definitely happening unless Trisha does a Rachel from Friends. Let's not put any of that out there. Well, probably could. But anyway, this is literally like a news publication from where they're from, and it's something that their friends and family are going to see. So I'm pretty sure this is something that is going to piss off Moses' family way more than just a YouTube video that Trisha would upload, because this is now news affecting them from their home place. So this news article, I made a video on it, will be linked below, is not in their favor at all, and is actually very much so against them. It seems like the interviewer didn't like Moses or Trisha. And my main reason that I believe that this is because if Trisha's sitting down on a Zoom interview and she was in full costume, full glam, and so was Moses, I think they were dressed up as Aladdin and Jasmine at this time because they talked about it in a mukbang, I am led to believe that the interviewer probably had a negative experience of Trisha and Moses on that Zoom interview, because I can only imagine that Trisha treated an Israeli interviewer like she treats Moses. So was probably very over the top on how much she loves Israel and how much she loves this interviewer because she's Israeli. And, you know, a normal person would find that very weird. For some reason Moses doesn't, but she probably got weirded out by this, the author, and this article has been the child of that. Now, there's a specific part in this article that people are sending me non-stop. And they're like, Adam, we need you to talk about this because it references the drama with Moses, with all of the ex-girlfriends. And also, there is a comment that is doing the rounds from my comment section on all of these, Instagram tea pages. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all. You're great with like tips and stuff like that. I fucking love you. I appreciate your time. And this comment from one of you, so if you're watching now, your comment is going around on Instagram and I'm going to read it out. Basically, because I asked the question, why would Moses set Trisha up? Because Moses would be aware of this news publication, so why would he allow Trisha to do this interview where Trisha's going in gloating about her lifestyle and gloating about spending money and being a troll and doing this, whenever Moses probably knew that they were not going to write about Trisha in a light that would show Trisha off in a good way. So here's the comment before we get to the part of the article. So Spill Some Tea With Me on Instagram posted this comment and they said, I saw this comment in Adam McIntyre's newest video. Check out Adam's channel. Thank you so much. And they were like, it's on the article that was published. So this comment is by Y/N. Moses definitely let Trisha walk into this one, Adam. Even though, in my opinion, he's done a lot to distance himself from Israel and Jewish culture in general, he was born and raised there. And should have known what the public reaction would be to someone as out there, if you will, as Trisha Paytas, I know what you mean. Ethan even tried to warn her on Frenemies that the way she was acting would get Moses in trouble. But Moses would probably like that. Again, we've had ups and downs of opinions on Moses, but it really does seem like he is the male version of Trisha, so they really do probably live off this together. This might be me delving too deep in the Trisha conspiracy, but I'm convinced he let her do this to humiliate her and get back at her for exposing his text messages to other women. Again, that could also be a possibility because this article is really humiliating on Trisha's behalf. Really, really, really bad. And it's the reason that Trisha talked about it happening for so long, and now it's out there, and Trisha is not even addressing it, not promoting it, not anything. It's not even a case of, I love to troll. It's like, we're not talking about this because it's that bad. So you might be onto something there. So I think he's letting her do this to humiliate herself, to get back, because he was having his text exposed by Trisha, even until recently. Every single Jewish content creator I've seen talking about them has said how disgusting, culturally insensitive, and even anti-Semitic Trisha's Jewish content has been. And I mean, they're not far off. And she's still doing it. Moses is the only one encouraging her, and it says a lot, Adam. Also, just to nitpick, biblical stories is definitely a weird way to talk about the, and you've spelt it, and I don't want to mispronounce it because I know that this was my fault, but it is the Tanakh. The Bible is a Christian thing. Moses is super weird about Judaism in general, so there's no surprises there. I appreciate your comment and thank you so much. And I'm now going to get to the snippet that Spill Some Tea With Me sent me from the article. I was like, Adam, I need you to focus on this. So we're going to get to it. So this is in that same article. It's a bit that we didn't get to. Again, please, this article was pages long, and it was already like a 30-minute long video we were filming for, and I was like, all right, we need to wrap this up. So let's get to this. So it says in the article, Trisha Paytas' fans understand that it is impossible to guess what her next thing will be. The exchange of identities, the zigzagging between obsessions and agendas. So again, not speaking in Trisha's favor, not like, oh, she's so quirky. It's like, she's weird. The tendency to connect with other creators and then collapse the relationship publicly created a chaotic pattern. She was also one of the first to open a profile on OnlyFans, which again, Ethan specifically told Trisha that Moses' family were against. So now that this Israeli publication is focusing on Trisha having an OnlyFans with Moses and posting content with him on there, this is a shitfest. So she has OnlyFans, a content for subscriptions only, at one point uploading videos bordering on porn. Since the relationship between Trisha and Moses was published, videos and rumors about Moses have also surfaced. So this is now an article going after Moses that all his family and friends are going to see. Is it worth it, Moses? Videos have surfaced about him. For example, one girl claimed that he was his ex and that he cheated on her with Trisha. Moses refuted these claims through screenshots of text messages between them, which proved that the two dated in February 2020 before he met Trisha. So this article is literally taking the drama channel approach and confirming that Moses did, and I think they're talking about Daphne, did in fact date Daphne, which basically confirms all of the old text messages, all of the dating while he was with Trisha, while he was not with Trisha, and sending all those provocative text messages to Daphne, if this is who we're speaking about, one of the exes at least, because apparently there were many. And also all the messages that Moses was sending the ex, making fun of Trisha, making fun of her OnlyFans, making fun of her content, making fun of how she looks, making fun of her during sex. There was a lot, right? So the fact that this article is bringing this up is a really bold move, because I would very much so doubt that an interviewer sat down with Trisha and Moses and asked them specifically about this, and Trisha then would go on a YouTube video saying how excited she was for the article. Because that is the one thing in Trisha's career, also the Mr. Riley stuff, that she will not address. The latest drama, at least for the time of this interview, they're making clear to say that, like, this is not good, this is not on their side at all, is the level of hygiene in the two's home, and it's Trisha from filth. Y'all, when I tell you that they're attacking Trisha for each and everything in this article, this is not good for Trisha. To quote Trisha, "We moved to a new house, and because of Corona, it's hard to determine with oh my god, blaming contractors again, how Ace family, and suppliers, so everything is a bit messy at the moment," says Moses and Trisha. Trisha says, "It's not like we have a tidy house, is it? It's a bit of a mess. I'm a bit of a messy person. We have a maid and I tell her to leave a bit of a mess because my head is tidy."
Allegedly.
Not Trisha Paytas trying to tell us that she has a tidy head. Girl, if your YouTube is a reflection of your head, that shit is not messy. Oh, it is messy. It's not tidy. See? I'm already making the connection for you, my love. Okay, so the article has now gone through Trisha's content, the allegations against the teacher, Trisha's allegations, the OnlyFans, their dirty house, and Moses cheating, allegedly. Keep in mind, this is one of the biggest news publications in Israel. And keep in mind, whenever they entered this relationship, Ethan gave Trisha one rule, which was not to embarrass Moses in front of his family. Now, Mucker, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you embarrassed by this? Because this is humiliating. It goes on. "Oi, I'm a bit of a messy person. We have a maid that comes in and I tell her to leave it a bit of a mess because my head is tidy. Do I believe that? No. What maid will you hire to leave the place a mess? Just say that you leave the place a mess. It almost justifies it more than paying someone to make your house a little bit cleaner. Like, how bad is the house for it to be made a little bit cleaner, you know what I mean? "Chaos is tidy for me," says Trisha. "Is it really funny to you, or did these dramas around you, affect the relationship?" So then they respond, "We don't have time for that." Trisha says, "I would not say we have time at all for that. We just choose not to watch any of it. I used to watch it, but it has become too crazy. People just invent things out of nowhere and it's already too much." And now, if the article hadn't touched upon every single negative thing to do with Trisha and Moses, it goes in for one final kill. Literally. Sorry. It says, "The last thing I saw in July was that Trisha was Killing Moses Katz. Trisha claims that he forced me to sign a financial agreement. Trisha says, being together makes it a lot easier. As a couple, we can support each other. As a couple, we can support each other. I feel like this is a very one-sided support system here, but who am I to judge? So as a couple, we can support each other, and we're busy doing life, and we're very distracted. Is that why you're a good pair? Because you're, like, never together? We wake up early at 6 in the morning. She does makeup and hair. Meanwhile, I organize things. Well, clearly not if you're telling us that the house is a fucking tip and you hire someone to clean it and they are told to leave it messy again. What is going on? Alright, so I sort accounts and then we go somewhere. We like to photograph things and we do a photo shoot every single day. So, Y'all, this article is getting the best reception against Trisha and Moses. Someone sent me a link and the article was uploaded on Facebook, and it is people from the place it was written, and they are basically just ripping into Trisha and Moses and saying that that Moses specifically is a laughingstock of Israel, and that his family should be ashamed, and that Trisha's family should be ashamed. Now again, that's all their opinion, and I'm not here to say that that's my opinion, but I'm letting you know that the article covers all of this, and that the response from natives of where it's written are solely against them. And now the article also focuses on the fact that Trisha wants to have a wedding in Israel, and what a way to introduce Trisha Paytas to Israel. What a way, with this bombshell of an article. Now, my final thing is, Trisha gloats to us about how much all press is good press, right? How many times have we heard Trisha say she doesn't care what drama channels say because it's clicks, it's attention. She doesn't care what any of the news people say because all attention is fucking good attention. Why is Trisha not talking about this article then? Is it because this article has gone too far? I would love to know how the interview process for this article went, because it is so against them that you would almost think that Trisha and Moses were like the worst people to interview, that they made this person so angry that they like had it out for them. Because this person has clearly done their research, has clearly looked up on drama channels, has clearly read Reddit, is probably someone within the space of the community, because they know an awful lot that the mainstream media don't even know about Trisha, and have now brought it to the mainstream, which is why Trisha is not talking about it, because these are all things that Trisha can pass off as just drama channels gossiping, but it's now made the mainstream media in the place that she so desperately wants to love her. Are we seeing how this is a train wreck? And it's so messy. I would love to be a fly on the wall on the Moses and Trisha household right now. I would love to be a fly going through all of that dirt on all of those boxes and all of those clothes on the floor and all of those wigs hanging on door handles just to hear what they're saying. It's my one dream. It's gonna be my Christmas miracle. But in all seriousness, I want to know what you're thinking about this, because they ripped them to pieces. And it's not even just like, oh, drama channels talking about them anymore. No, it's mainstream media. So we'll talk about it below. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for your time. Oh, yikes. This is like watching the cinnamon challenge happen to someone. Like, that extreme of discomfort is happening to them. Lord. Bye.